Okay, we're recording. Okay, welcome to Wcboo class number 5. Once again, we have our private student. And you said you have some questions.
Yes,
So let's do it.
because I know I was told that you guys used to do the Wcboo insurance, but you got rid of that extra insurance. Do you recommend NASA or anything else, like for liability, like if I got hurt or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that was part of our membership was that, you know, you got the insurance from Wcboo. But you get insurance from WefCrest, right, you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's automatic with WefQuest, so you already have it.
I was told that with that, it's like if I got hurt, like say you get hurt and you miss however many games that you were supposed to work, you don't get paid for that. But
Okay.
If you get the extra insurance, you would still get paid for those because
Okay. So NASO does. Okay, so I've experienced it more than once with NASO. They are very good. So, and it's only like $100 or less, 106, whatever it is. It's very good. If you do get injured, yes, you can put in a claim. You have to have all your doctor's documents and all that. You don't get full compensation for your games. When I got injured and had to get surgery, I got $50 per game, up to only $2,000.
Okay.
So it was worth it for me per se. But if you're like Rich and Scott, who work Division I, which you're not there yet, that insurance is not enough. And obviously they can talk more on that about it. But yes, definitely NASO. It's great. It's great insurance. And if you get into a legal situation, you just call them up. Hey, Amanda Feldman from this happened, and they're on it. So it's good stuff.
That's exactly what Sherry was saying is definitely true. Definitely at that level, it's a small investment for something that may be worth it. I actually got it and then realized we have the WefCrest, so I did not take it because of kind of what Sherry said. Excuse me, but a lot of once you start moving up, a lot of the people who you hear about in the insurance are taking out some type of insurance as an independent contractor. Those policies are far more expensive,
right,
than what NASA would cover. So that's kind of your own personal decision. I don't personally have that, but I know several people who do. But like anything, it's definitely more of a investment for where you are right now. I don't think it's worth it.
No.
I do think if I don't know your health situation or it worked out for Sherry, and for a small investment, I don't think $106 is making or breaking you. You are covered kind of on the same policy as WefQuest. Now WefQuest is new to all of us, so I don't really know how that's going to cover you if you do get injured. I'm assuming it's something very similar to NASA, but nobody knows that because nobody's ever experienced. It's our first year with WefQuest. So if you feel more confident to get NASA in addition, it may not be necessary, but like I said, it's just probably $100. I think it was $106.
It's like $106.
Right. So I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if it's necessary, so I don't want to lead you to spend money if it's not necessary. But the insurance coverage where you're going to be getting, I think it's up to 75% or almost 100% of your game fee, that is a large investment. That's that's for people who pretty much are doing this full time, and this is their main source of income.
Yeah, like a Joe Facili or a D. Kantner, this is their job. A Maggie Tiemann, this is what they do for a living.
Right.
And they get, 100 games a year, and they're making a lot of money. And if they're like one injury away from, so they need that type of insurance. But along with NASO, you'll get the book or the magazine every year, week or month. I'm sorry, every month. It worked out great for me. I used them twice because over 20 years, I had a couple injuries. Rich, anything with you? Did you ever have to use them?
No, I'm along the same lines as Scott. I mean, when you go down the path of, you know, independent contractor insurance, it's quite a large investment. So you just have to, you know, decide that personally if it's worth it. But you know, NASO and what RefQuest has is pretty good for, you know, somebody that's has a full-time job but also has this as, you know, an additional more or less part-time job.
Amanda, how old are you? Are you
32.
okay? So you're out on your own,
Mhm.
right? You're on your
Yeah.
own. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you're not married, right?
No.
Okay. Right. So like my husband, he has an amazing insurance. So, you know, I don't really need extra stuff, but I used to get NASO all the time. Yeah.
I only brought it up just because my guy I ref with a lot, he's the one who got me into college. He was just telling me one of our fellow officials who was doing some Division One, I guess a while ago, he got injured and he lost out on all those wages. But I don't think I need. I don't think I need it.
Yeah, not yet, but yeah, it's a great question. No, that's a great question to ask.
Yeah.
You know, and you're one of the first ones that we need to put that on the next steps.
Yeah, it's important.
It's
Yeah.
Because in high
It's
school,
also-
I got hurt. Like when I first transferred to my second board, I got injured. I think I had like 2 high school games left. Like luckily, it was at the end of the season. I mean,
Right.
my own fault. I was playing basketball, but you know, since then I just don't play really during the season anyway.
It's also
Right.
important though, outside of protecting yourself, but some leagues require that you have liability insurance outside of your own medical insurance. So sometimes it's in the contract that you have to show proof that you have liability insurance outside of, you know, your own insurance. So it's always good to look into those things.
Yeah.
But the
What-
NASO will cover you for your high school
Yeah.
games, your rec leagues, your summer games, your whatever outside of just your college games. So it's definitely worth it.
So that liability insurance also has to do with, because my dad runs an umpiring organization, and it makes it mandatory for everybody to carry an ASO. That protects you because anytime somebody gets hurt, they're suing anybody who is within 200 yards of that field. So you've probably been in part of lawsuits that you don't even know about because it doesn't even get to that point. So NASO is a really, really good thing to have for that reason alone. I mean, I remember my dad was umpiring a
Great
game,
points, guys.
and there was somebody who got hurt, some with the field. Needless to say, that person wound up getting a settlement. It was all in the newspaper. My dad was umpiring the game. They never even got to my dad because that's how strong NASO is as far as like a liability insurance for officials.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's for that matter alone, and I think RefQuest will be similar just based on the platform that they're representing and the group of people. Excuse me, but I think that just for that reason alone, it's important. I mean, and it's such a small investment.
Mhm.
I think we're
I
good with
agree.
that.
That makes sense.
It's one game fee, right? It's literally like one game fee.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's worth it. And it's a tax write-off too.
Yeah, it is.
So
Hey, John, welcome back. We missed you last week.
How you doing, everyone?
Good.
Yeah,
John.
last week was weird because I actually, due to the background noise, I actually fell asleep like 20 minutes before the meeting.
That's okay.
Wait,
That's
and
okay.
woke up and the meeting was over. So
That's all right. That's all right.
Mhm.
How are you coming along with the modules and everything? You doing okay?
yeah, I actually finished all the modules. I
Excellent.
still had some issues with regard to some of the references that the questions were given that they
Okay.
didn't match up. But for the most part, and then I felt like some of the questions became very repetitious, and maybe they changed a little bit. So in those last 3 weeks of exams, it was like same question over and over again. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that was a good variety of rules that they could have covered, with so much more. But
Okay.
still, I found it useful,
Okay, great.
The other part that I had a little concern about, and I think what Kerry did help me with, but after I took the exams, I couldn't access them anymore. What my scores were, what the results, I couldn't access them. I would, if I go back to the module, I'd have to take the exam again to actually see the questions. You have one look at them and then that was it, as far as I can.
Okay, I'll write that down. Okay. Accessing,
What I
Quizzes.
did was, if you click after it, see questions or results, I hit like control print. I printed it as a PDF so I can have it and look back, because I realized you couldn't do that in the beginning. That way I knew, like, because that first one we had some issues with.
okay,
Okay.
so you printed it out,
I saved it as a PDF, so
saved it as a PDF.
yeah, I saved it.
Okay,
I don't recall seeing that capacity capability, but that's good to know. I'll look for it when I look on it again. But I completed all the exams and completed the entire
excellent. Oh,
course.
good. So, all right, well, we'll talk about doing the exam near the end, so we'll talk about that. Okay, Amanda, you had a couple more questions?
Other stuff, I got access to Synergy. So if any of you guys have any games, maybe you worked last year, that would be like good games for me to watch and kind of learn. I would love to, if you could just send me dates and teams who played and I can access it. It looks like I can access, any game really that was uploaded.
Any
Yeah.
game, every game, any game, whatever game you can get on Synergy, just
Yeah.
watch it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Just use Zoe's login, like the rest of the country.
Mhm.
what's that?
For a while, when nobody can get a login, we literally couldn't get on Synergy for like 5 years. But
Mm.
I
Zoe,
know,
Zoe's login works, so we all used to use her. They probably went on her password and said, "Wow, she watches a lot of film. There's every game in America."
I'll share my schedule on the classroom, but I'm sure Scott and Rich and Sherry would do the same. But
Yeah, we'll share.
any game you can get on Synergy, just download it, watch it, and work from there.
Thanks.
what else?
Actually, ESPN Plus has like the archive is
Yeah.
endless. You can go on watch almost all the games. Or
So I can stream it on
ESPN
my
Plus,
TV.
yeah, ESPN Plus and ESPN3 has a lot as well.
Really?
Yeah, you just watch the
Is that
replay.
like
It
on
has-
demand or whatever?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, good to know. Good to
Yeah,
Yeah,
know.
the IB.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Patriot.
Thanks, Scott. Didn't know that either. Thank you.
I
Alright.
would share my parents' password, but I think too many people have it at this point.
No,
I
I
might shut
think,
them down.
yeah, we're all good. Okay, all right, let's talk about, John, do you have any questions about quizzes or anything? Or anything? Because we'll look at some plays.
No, not at the moment. I'm pretty much okay with where we at.
Okay, all right, good. All right, Scott, oh wait, Scott, I gotta give you,
No, give it to
privileges.
me, Sherry.
Hold
I
on a second. Let's see, hold on a second. Scott, you need it?
No, Rich, just give it to Rich. We'll talk through it.
Yeah, just give it to me.
Well, you both can have it, so.
Okay.
All right. All right, so you can see my screen?
Yeah,
Okay. Let me just minimize something here. Okay, so this is a good play in terms of positioning and areas of intersection in a sense. The action's gonna happen right in the paint here. So I'll play this through twice. I think it'll be pretty obvious.
whoa,
I'll do it one more time. All right, so I'll pause this. I think it's less about the obvious. I think we all saw the elephant in the room, but I think it's more Amanda and John for First off, if you saw time and score, it's 8:44 in the first.
Oh, my
We
God.
have a 0-0 score. So, I'm in the, actually, I will go back and reshare.
Rich, can
yeah,
you
keep
run
it
it
up.
one more time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep it up.
Thank you.
So if you see here, I'm in the C on the ball handler dribbler with a count, and my lead is in rotation and recognizes that I have that. And then we have the crash, and calling a foul in rotation isn't the greatest thing in the world, but in this situation, I think my partner recognizes that I don't see what happens here, considering where my focus is, and comes up and gets this obvious, blatant, offensive foul. I think it's a great call here, and even our new trail, or sorry, trail new C could come and get this. And honestly, after looking at it so many times, there's no reason why I shouldn't have a whistle on this to expand my vision, considering there's probably a good 3 feet in between the ball handler, dribbler, and defender here. But a minute and 15 in the game, something like this. This is also speaking to a clip that we've seen in a previous class. This is the same game where we had the issue off the tip. Amanda, I don't know if you remember that, where
Yeah.
we had somebody catch the ball in the center circle. So this is after that happens as well. So I think it's just a very good play in terms of just awareness as a lead here.
That's a really good pickup by the lead. And I think what Rich said makes complete sense. I compare a play like this as a center almost to when you have no pressure on a ball handler dribbling up the court, or a one-on-one, but the defender is really not applying any pressure. You want to pick up your next competitive matchup. A veteran official told me once, when that one time you miss a double dribble or something, half the time the player give themselves up. But the more important thing is you picking up that secondary coverage area, because that one-on-one of the girl with the ball by herself, that's never going to hurt you. Even if she pulls up and takes a 3, we'll be able to find the feet. But it's that secondary area, because right now if that lead was in a rotation, technically he's not even picking that up until he's completely rotated, because he may be with something competitive. So we need to have that peripheral, and not zone in so much on the ball handler dribbler. I mean, there was pressure, but it wasn't really pressure. I think the girl was about 5-6 feet away from her. So we just really need to be cognizant of what's going on in that secondary matchup, because that's what's going to hurt us. And, so plays like this happen often. Definitely a little bit surprising the time and score when it happened, but good job of the lead being ready to officiate for that, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good play. Really good play.
All right. And I'm going to pull up another play from this game actually now. This was a very contentious game. We found out
From
a
the
lot of,
get-go, I guess.
Lucky for me, I had the rematch.
this
You had the right
came
official
from-
on the game, right? Right? They had Rich, you had to be on there, right official.
What's that, Carl?
I said they had the right official on the game.
Yeah. And it all stemmed from the previous season. There was a lot of this became a rivalry very quickly. So looking at this now, if we look at time and score again, now we're 2 minutes later, 6:28, 7-6 here. So this action is going to happen by me. I'm in the C over here, and I'll play this through a couple times. I think this speaks to a couple things. I'll play again one more time. But I think one thing is it speaks to what John Levinson talked about and Penny Davis at the clinics in terms of on these plays of us defaulting. We were calling a lot more blocks here and not seeing what the defender is doing wrong here. And my default for these types of plays is I'm watching the defender the whole way through. I know exactly where the ball handler dribbler is going. They're going to the basket, no matter if they're passing or they're shooting. That can't hurt me. It's the defender that's going to hurt me. So really just adjusting here, and I cannot explain what the defender does wrong, which is why I have a charge on this play. But also speaking to understanding what happened earlier in the game from the last play, knowing that, on both sides of the floor, they're looking to take charges and, being able to reward defense when they play, good defense in this situation. So I think it's just a matter of understanding not just the play for itself, but also the matchup that we're given that night. Scott, I don't think anything to add on this.
I want to, before Scott goes, so Rich, go back to just bring it up. Just bring it up. And I just
Hold on,
want to talk about some positioning first. Just bring it, so stop it right there. So I love the fact, like, everybody's already in their positions. So Amanda, the lead's where she needs to be, the trail's almost where he needs to be. And as you can see, Rich is already in position receiving the play, which is great. And when you run it through, you're exactly right about right there. Great. The defender obtained legal guarding position. She maintained it by moving laterally or obliquely. The offensive player never got her head and shoulders past that defender. I mean, this was spot on call. Yeah, the defender did nothing wrong except defend, which she's allowed to do. And yeah, that was great. Now, the only question I have is, and Rich and Scott, you can, the lead was kind of coming over and then she stops. So I'm not sure what she's looking at. Is she extending over there, or what are your thoughts on that?
No, it's a good question. I think she does a nice job of, if she pulls back, something might happen and she takes herself out of a good angle. I think she does a nice job of pinching the paint here and staying with this, just in case for some reason she doesn't think I have an open look at the play.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with her stopping right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think backing out almost, or staying where she is, like Rich said, is going to give her a much better angle. If not, she's going to be stacked. She's going to be straight lined on that
But-
play, and where that contact occurs, she's going to be completely straight line. I think even a step towards like the L or the Y,
Mhm.
a quick step. I mean, sometimes we go further away to see more plays. Like when we're lead, they don't want us hugging the end line. They want us to be kind of a couple steps off, because
Right.
it opens up our field of vision. So I think she
Right.
does a pretty good job recognizing that's a drive.
Yeah.
Plus, on a drive and a quick miss in transition, you don't want to screw up your partners on a rotation. I mean, we all know how to readjust, and we all could probably figure it out. But when there is a drive contested to the basket and that rotation is not complete, we're taught to back out.
I also think her positioning, knowing this official, she's 5'3", so she is adjusting based on knowing her height and sight line on this. So I think that's also because she's very deep in terms of close to the stanchion there, whereas I would be probably closer to the bottom of the Y.
Okay.
So I think that is part of also the reason of her positioning as well.
Okay. Great. Scott, were you going to add anything else to that
No,
before?
I think we watched her a couple of times, but I think Rich does a really good job. We're taught to step down on shots, but we need to step and we need to redirection ourselves to see the play. I think if Rich steps down, he actually stepped up a little bit on that play. I think if it steps down, he also straight lined himself. So I think he did a really good job recognizing where that drive and where we can't predict contact, but we all played basketball. We kind of get a feeling of where it's going to be. So I think he put himself in a really good position doing that. We get so focused. And I think I talked about this on one of our other calls. We get so focused on C's supposed to be a foul line extended. So we get the foul line extended and we just don't move.
Plan.
or lead's supposed to be here, or it's a trail's supposed to be at 28, we just don't move. I think when we move even subtly and we just move a half a step in either direction, we put ourselves in so much better position to see it. Because I know for a fact, I'm like, step down on a shot. I step down on a shot. And then I sometimes wait there, and then the next contact I can't see. Opposed to what Rich did, where he stepped actually up and kind of on the floor. He really gave himself a good angle to see that, because that's a tough play, and that's all center. That's all
Yeah.
center of that play.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
play is, that play doesn't come even near the paint. That's a
Yeah,
seaside responsibility.
Yeah, and there was no really matchups on the other side of the court.
No.
Even the other matchup near him, there was still space in between the offense and defensive players. So, yeah, there wasn't really much to expand. So
I would say the secondary whistle on that play was a lead. It would be a lead, but that's a long ways to come.
Yeah.
That's a
The
long
lead?
That play
ways.
was a test question.
Yeah, that's a long. Yeah, you're right. Actually, that's a long ways to come. I mean, that's quite the sell as a lead, because that would be basically the C secondary area responsibility.
Yeah. I think the other thing to point
whoa,
out.
whoa.
I mean,
Timeout,
the
boys.
lead
Oh.
secondary
Oh, okay.
area responsibility. Yeah, C's
Yeah.
primary. That plays all. In my opinion, that plays all center.
It's all C. Yeah,
You live and die by the center on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. because
think
it wasn't
another-
even near the RA,
No,
not even close. So, yeah, okay.
I think another
Agreed.
thing to point out, Amanda, too, as you start to work through your games, is knowing your personnel and knowing tendencies. I think that is, like, we look at this play just for the play, but going to this game, it's a conference game. We had the knowledge that we had, but knowing that player that
Mhm.
got the charge, she was the player of the year in the Patriots. So she's very, very aggressive. And she's looking to drive to the basket all the time and looking to get in the quote unquote bailed out as the player of the year. So I think that's another factor that comes in, is like, when we're putting whistles on those plays, to know, not to say that it's because of who it is, but knowing what their tendencies are is extremely important. I think, and that's part of my pregame, if I'm the crew chief, is talking about personnel, because I think that's just as important as anything else that we're going to do on the floor that night. Scott, I don't know, or Sherry or Carl, anything else on that?
No, I mean, we spoke about this last week too. Same thing, kind of like a pregame. I had to get, we were at a scrimmage today, and you almost lose the pregame because you're talking about players and tendencies. So it's you and we all agreed, like, we found ourselves not having much to talk about. Not that we didn't have much to talk about. I know that Rich, we feel kind of the same, and I'm sure Sherry and Carl feel the same. Like, we're talking about like players, tendencies, coaches, things that happen, and just kind of like what Rich said, knowing your players. Same thing like that player is the player of the year. I mean, we need to make sure that her 5 fouls, if she has 5 fouls, or when you go on tape, those 5 fouls, it's obvious fouls. And if we said that every player gets the same, it gets the same, yes, we say that, but we need to make sure that our player, because the game doesn't benefit when that player's out of the game. The game suffers. So we need to make sure that our whistle impact is upwards of 98 to 100% when we are putting whistles on players who are in double figures or the point guard, because that's when we put them on the bench, the coaches think that we took chances out of their team's hands to win the game. It's that simple.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had a scrimmage yesterday, and we're all there and we're getting ready for the pregame. And I'm like, I started with the pregame, and I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about points of emphasis, guys, because we've heard it like 90 times in the last 4 weeks. So we don't need it to. And one of the people were, they were fairly new on the crew. And I said, we usually just talk about matchups and coaches and personnel. And I said, and so we start talking about the teams of their personnel and what they're usually like, but we don't even know if they're here this year. And the other team, it's like, well, God, it was a JUCO team playing a Division III team. And I'm like, they don't usually even start until January. So this is all new for us that they even have a team in October. So, but we got through it. But yeah, like we just said about pregame and stuff. All right, let's talk about it.
Well, no, that's a good point though, Sherry, and Amanda, like that, when you get to a certain level, and even if it's at the Division 2 and 3 level, if you're working with people that have been there a while, you less talk about what you're supposed to do during the game because that's a given. You should know that at that point. It's more valuable to talk about, like I always open up my pregame with personnel, players and coaches,
Yeah.
to understand, like, has anybody seen the team before? I was telling Sherry before you got on, I had a scrimmage the other night where I had a team that I'd never seen before and a coach I'd never seen before, and all I heard was gossip about how the visiting coach was not that great of a person. I ended up whacking him in a scrimmage, not just because of the knowledge, but the knowledge helped, but behavior validated it. So I think it's important knowing what you're going to get into in a game, and not just for a coach that is demonstrative, but it's demonstrative toward he or she towards the players or the coaches, because I've had games where, we've had to prep people who have not had a coach before, that they're very loud, but they're loud towards their players, not towards us. So you need to expect and prepare for what you're going to go into before, the game. It's important to share that knowledge. So I think, like Sherry said, that information is just as important in terms of the points of emphasis should be given because we've all taken the test, but everything else that we're going to do throughout the game, is just as important as understanding like what the lines then we're walking into.
True. Very true.
All right, another play. Kind of similar. Again, this is one of my plays here. I'm on the lead. The drive's going to come from the trail towards on the baseline here, but it's very similar to what we just saw, except I'm in the lead here. Again. And just like Scott said on the last play, that it was all C's. This is all C's in my opinion. I think, although if we look at positioning here, I mean, it's a very wide open floor here. The C, she really has nothing happening here, although where the contact happens, it's a very difficult play for her to help at with it all. My trail has a very open angle here in terms of if for some reason I just had a big lapse here and had nothing that she could assist with. But other than that, I think this really speaks for itself. And I think it's really the system working extremely well in terms of an open floor here. Catching in the corner. Again, I cannot tell you what the defender did wrong.
Nothing.
Nope, no time and distance. I mean,
Yeah.
I liked how the C, if you run it through, the C actually, she moves
does
down,
step
moves
down,
down,
yeah.
moves down. She gets a great view because she's got nothing going on. So she does position adjust, as they say, which was really helpful. And wind up nothing being in the RA either. So there's no secondary defenders to even pick up.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, Sherry, too, because she steps down when she's got 3 offensive players in her area here, and 2 of them not defended at all. So she really does a good job of stepping down to engage for anything possibly, which actually ends up she was passing.
Oh, dang.
That's a good play.
Yes.
There was nothing competitive there at all besides that drive. That's a good play.
No,
Definitely
this was a
you can definitely get caught off guard with a play like that because there was like no contested defenders at all, offensive players, at all.
Yeah.
Besides that, the trail could have probably been a little more engaged and maybe like a little more athletic of a stance
Mhm.
kind of like standing flat footed, but that's
Yeah.
nitpicking.
Mhm.
That's nitpicking. Good call. Really good
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
Well, we had a double foul today in my scrimmage game
You did?
on a shot.
Oh,
Do you have the
Yeah,
clip?
do you have the clip?
I wished. I
Ah.
wish.
So talk
I-
us through it though, because this is great.
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't experienced a double foul in about 10 years. So we had a shot. So first my partner called. I think she said staying here. And then she said double foul. I said, hold on. So I went up and I said, do we have fouls at approximately the same time? Or do we have a foul and then a foul after? No, approximately the same time, double foul. Okay, fine. Now we have to go to points of interruption.
Yes, we do.
What's the point of interruption on
Well, it's
a shot?
The shot, did it go in?
right. So wait,
not
let's
go in.
ask Amanda. Let's ask
Yeah.
Amanda how we adjudicate this.
So the shot did not go in. What do we do?
So it was during the shot, so no one had possession.
Okay.
So no possession, would you go to the arrow?
Yes.
Correct. At point of interruption. So we went arrow, we went long, took it spot out. What did we do to shot clock?
Who had the ball? Oh, it was a
The-
new possession, so 30, you said?
Excellent.
Well, who has the arrow?
I think
Doesn't matter, Carl.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
New possession.
New possession.
But if it was a double foul, when one team had the ball, they would get the ball and there would be no reset to
No,
You're right.
I'm sorry,
You're
did
right.
he say
You're
the
right.
ball was in the air?
the ball was in the
Yeah.
air. So it was on a shot attempt. Ball was in the air. So if the offensive team retained possession, then the shot clock would stay.
No,
No, it
there's
would go
no
to 20.
time.
It would-
No, there's no team or player control. The ball hit the rim. So there's a reset. Since there, and now we have double fouls, so we're going to go the AP arrow and it's a change of possession. So
is it 20 or 30?
that's a great question.
Is it,
Because it's change of possession. I guess if the if the shooting team retains it after the shot, it would go to 20. And then if team B, the non-shooting team, it change of possession, they would get 30. Because you're staying there if the shooting team, if the APRO is the shooting team.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Right. 20 or 30.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the rim part, I think, is a moot point because it's the whistle came when the ball was in flight. I think it's the fact that the offensive team is retaining possession. It's 20. It's a reset
Right.
to 20.
that's why I asked who had the arrow.
Yep. It was a weird play. With that said, don't call double fouls.
especially not during a shot. Got it.
Well, that's what
Okay,
we said.
guys, let's do this question. Team A shoots the ball, hits the rim. B gets the ball. We go to 30, right? If the ball, and then they travel or there's a violation and we're still in team A's front court, 20 or 30.
Would it be 30 because it's change of possession? 'Cause
That's
they
what
did retain.
I say 30 because it's a change of possession.
Mhm.
It's
Even
definitely
if
30.
That's what we did in the scrimmage yesterday,
Yeah, it's definitely 30.
because it's change of possession.
I had
It's
a
a new,
scrimmage. for my
it's a
first
new
scrimmage.
possession for A.
Yeah.
Yes?
I
You
had my
guys all
first
agree?
scrimmage yesterday. Nice.
Huh?
I had my first scrimmage yesterday.
You did?
Yep.
How'd it go?
It was good. It was Union County College versus Cheney. Union County is like really good. The score was like 85-47 or something.
What?
Yeah, they just run, man. I'm sore today. I didn't stretch enough. But it was good. I'm telling you, it was a smooth game. No issues with the shot clock or anything. I have to start peaking up more though.
Is it
so
at junior college?
it was junior college versus Division III. Cheney's
Yeah,
good.
that's a lot going on.
But Union has a lot of girls that go like Division 1 or Division 2 after they leave there. It's like a good program.
Gotcha.
Um,
It's good to
Did
get
you
the
have
run
good
in.
partners?
Yeah, I did. That's with Bobby Hope. I told
Did you tell
remember I-
Bobby Hope we all said hello?
I did, yep.
Bobby Hope.
And
Yep.
did he just start laughing?
He was smiling, yep. Well, I said Wcboo, and he's like, what? And then I said what it was and your names. It's like, oh, yeah. And he was laughing and smiling.
Okay.
He's very like laid back and chill.
Oh, yeah, Bobby Hope.
But it was good. Great experience.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
great.
Awesome. Yep, it's getting close.
All right. Do we have one more play or no?
Yeah, I got some more.
Okay.
Um, let's
So you didn't
see
have
here.
anything in your scrimmage that you want to ask about, or it just all went pretty?
I mean, before the game we had a black undershirt
Oh,
or
good.
white
Oh, we
uniform.
had,
And I knew we weren't gonna, I mean, it wasn't for a scrimmage, it's whatever. Bobby's like, don't worry about it, but
yeah.
yeah, but like I was making sure, I'm like, making sure for a game, that we address it.
Well, yeah, actually, when I did captains, because they were all wearing like black under green and black under white. And I go, girls, you have to wear, green under green and white under your what? Oh, we do? I go, yeah, during the year, you do. You do.
Like it's a new role, it hasn't been in there.
I know, it's crazy.
Even in high school. It's
So,
new.
yeah, right. So, yeah. Yeah, it's craziness.
Yeah, it was pretty good. For me, like it's just I need to see the playthrough, have a little more patient whistle. I had a couple good and one calls where the basket counts and I did the goal counts correctly and I was happy about that.
That's fun.
It was good though. I felt good. I had good partners, so it worked out.
Good.
Mm,
Who's your third? Who's the other one?
It was Teresa Corney. I don't know. It's like Knoier. She's from Ocean County, New Jersey area.
Oh, good.
And she goes to Stockton. You know her, Rich? And
She have blonde hair, I think.
brown. She's super tall, really white teeth.
I think I know her, yeah.
Okay, yeah, probably. She might have like, I don't know, highlights. And then
Yeah.
a guy named Jerry, he has like a arm sleeve. It's only his second year, doing college. Not arm sleeve, tattoo sleeve.
Arm sleeve? Are we allowed to wear that now?
Tattoo sleeve. Sorry, he's got like a sleeve of tattoo.
I don't know.
Oh,
Tattoo, sorry.
tattoos you talking about?
Tattoo sleeve, not arm sleeve.
I told you I was changing, Cherry.
You what?
I told you that was changing.
Hmm.
They
We'll
don't
see.
mind tats now.
He said that he doesn't think he could go higher level though with it.
a lot of people use like makeup and stuff for it. Or I
Yeah.
don't know what they do.
He was talking about that, like he's like, if I can wear an arm sleeve or something, like,
Yeah, I know a guy that does the makeup thing.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
I don't know how they do it, but
Yeah.
ready for the. All right, so we had a play yesterday. Trying to think now. I don't want to say it wrong. We had shot. It was like 3 seconds on the shot clock. The girl kind of forced it. Rebound. No control. It was like batted off like 3 different girls. It went to go out of bounds. The defensive team went to save the ball, and by saving the ball, they went to throw it off the offensive team, and she threw the ball out of bounds. She threw the ball off her own player. Okay, she threw the ball off her own player, went out of bounds. What do you got?
So
And out of bounds.
no one had control yet.
If she
Okay.
passed it back, she threw it off her teammate.
Yep.
She had control.
Okay, so what do you got on the shot clock?
So it's out of bounds on them.
Right, it's out of bounds on them.
New
What do you got on the
shot
shot clock?
New shot clock.
New
What do you-
shot
because it-
clock.
What do you mean new
There's-
shot clock? What do you have, 20 or 30?
Well,
In the full court.
so it would be,
The defensive
Change of
team you said threw out
possession.
of bounds.
The defensive team tried to, if the ball hit like every player in the court, I guess the defensive team thought it was out on her own girl. The ball's rolling out. She jumps out of bounds, grabs the ball, throws it off what was supposed to be the offensive team, hits her own player, and the ball goes out of bounds.
so it'd be a
Now,
change.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, right? So you go from playing defense to 20 seconds. What's up, John?
It's a new 30 there.
Yeah, it's a new 30.
She actually passed it. I gave her possession of the ball. We get a new 30 for the new offensive team.
Absolutely. So it's not a, remember, it's not a bat or a tap, it's a throw. So whenever you see a throw, it was a weird play too, because if the team plays great defense for 27 seconds, girl tries to get bailed out, throws the ball off the rim, ping pongs off a lot of players. Now the same girl goes to save the ball who was originally going to be out on the other team, throws it, hits her own player and goes out of bounds. It was a strange play. I mean, it was a strange play, but it's 30 seconds on a throw.
Were you able to think that quickly already? I mean,
Well,
we're in basketball mode, but we're not in basketball mode. Like,
Well, when we kind of spoke about it and kind of like, I guess how I explained it, it's hard to explain, but really everything's a moot point besides the throw.
mhm,
Once you see throw, you're thinking new 30.
yeah,
So, a lot of times it happens even at mid-court where we get a new throw and now that other team retains possession and you have a new 30. So anytime you see a throw, and it happens a lot when the players are trying to save the ball going out of bounds, it we have to just mentally program ourselves to think new 30.
yeah.
And I give the shot
Player has
clock credit.
control
He
of
did
the
it.
ball.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Scott. The player
Yep.
has control of the ball when they catch it and throw it. So
Right.
that's player control. So that's team control. So now if you lose the ball, the other team gets a new 30.
Correct.
So
Correct. So anytime a
Actually-
player throws the ball, that means
Mhm.
that we assume that means they have control because they're able
Yeah.
to throw the ball. It's not a tap, and it's not a it's not a tap, or it's not a like a bat. It's a throw. Yep, it's a throw.
Makes sense.
Hey, Scott and Rich and Carl, did you see that test question on the NCAA exam? From the
Which one was that?
summer?
Oh yeah, I did.
Did you get it right?
Yep,
Of course, because we got it wrong before.
yeah.
that was actually on this course. They had that question too. I
So
believe that
no,
was on the course.
Scott, oh wait, you guys, I don't know if I ever told you. John emailed me like 3 days later and said, Sherry, after thinking about this call, he said, it's not a violation. It's a play on.
Weird play.
Yeah.
Such a weird play. But
So,
that's why we talk about these things, because we all learn from the conversation for sure.
Wait,
Right.
what?
it was A1 is dribbling the ball.
Just strikes the ball for leg,
ball-
whatever.
The ball goes off of B1's leg. A1 picks the ball up and continues to dribble. And in the summer, we
Oh,
all
okay.
said,
We talked about that.
But
We
that-
talked
yeah,
about that. Okay,
yeah.
all right.
we all said, we're not calling anything. It's a play on. And Dave was like, well, it wasn't batted by the defender. So anyway, so it's a play on, guys. It's not a violation.
Yeah.
Okay, last play.
I got one more play. Sherry, I'm pulling up the play that I was telling you about. So this is
Cool.
from scrimmage last weekend. All right, here we go. There's actually a lot to talk about in this play. Okay, so I'm on the lead play. I'll play it twice. And Amanda, John, let me know what you
Didn't
think
he
we
put this
have.
on SRE?
Yep, he sure did.
Is this an inter-squad, Rich?
No, they played Fairfield.
Wow, those practice
He's
years are
sick though.
horrible.
He's sick for getting this. It's wild.
Rich, was this your game?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm on the.
Were you the lead?
Yes,
Thank you.
I'll play it one more time.
Good play. I like it.
Okay, so let's break it down here. We'll start here. And John was at this. He saw this. He wasn't at the whole game. He saw this though. He was there. So here we go. We have a weak side ball handler dribbler matchup here. And I'm gonna move Carl's face because he's in the way.
Sorry,
Uh,
am I? I didn't think I was.
beating her off the dribble. I have pinched the paint now at this point, and I'm watching I guess number one, whatever her number there is. I don't do a great job of backing out. I should have stayed near the D there. But we have contact. I've backed out. We have a double whistle, and as you can see by my C, she quickly stops the clock but goes right to almost a preliminary as she's going to punch this. Looks at me. You can't see me, but I have a held fist in the air and I'm saying, take it. And she ships it. A couple things here. Obviously it's a scrimmage. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second so I can see everybody. Obviously it's a scrimmage. We double there. It's her first year. I let her take it. I'm pointing at her, say, take it. She ships it. And we have a conversation off the court with John. He thinks, she makes the right call. And he asks why I'm doubling. At that point, I'm like, I probably should have had a whistle there because, my first time on the floor in how many months. And I'm thinking that I did not get it right. After watching the play with her beating defender off the dribble, that secondary defender, that is now my play. The fact that we had a double, I was going to go block there. But understanding that working with somebody that's new to the game, you want to let them have a sense of opportunity in the game. So I released it to her. But if you want to see it again, it is a block.
It is a
Yeah,
block
could you run
because
it one more time?
if you see her, she kind of sits down. She doesn't
She
get
also
knocked
moves.
down. She
She was
sits
never
down.
legal. She was
Yeah.
moving towards the ball
She
handler
was
dribbler.
moving, yeah.
She
That-
moves in.
That's
right
true
there.
too.
Yeah.
That is true too, Carl.
Yeah.
Yep,
She moves in right there.
yep.
He
Yeah.
created the
So,
contact. The defender created the contact.
Yeah.
She didn't extend her arm, the offensive.
It's a very good play. It's a good play to have, especially in the preseason like that, to talk through, because I feel like in the regular season we don't have any opportunities with those types of plays to talk about it. So to have something like that in a preseason to kind of understand like where it came from, what happened, and whose play it should be.
So what
was a
was
good
the
play.
initial discussion on it, Rich? I'm sorry. That she was the C was right? The initial
discussion was that the C was right, and that I shouldn't have had a primary timed whistle on it. And then after somehow it made its way back to the coordinator, and he saw it and sent it out to me and said, you should share this with your crew after review. I think it is a block.
It's a block. I agree.
And then I confirmed with him. I said, do you agree primary whistle should come from the lead? He said yes.
It's similar
Because
to
it was secondary defender, right?
correct. It's
Correct.
similar to the other play. You did the right thing and you pinched the paint, you tried to rotate. You just caught in a bad spot because as you were rotating, that girl decided to drive. Now that lane that she took, that you got a little bit straight line. I think an educated guess, you would go block, and it's definitely a secondary defender. What that
Yeah.
center needs to probably try to do is just hold that whistle and not give a preliminary, because when you
Yeah.
give a preliminary, it boxes us in.
Yeah.
And if we are going to overturn it, everybody in the gym now knows she was going to go charge. Guilty as charged. I've done it before. I'll probably do it my next game, but we really need to get in the habit of putting our fist up. It buys us a lot of time.
Yeah. It's also a
Right.
scenario of understanding that if you're on the primary defender and she gets beat off the dribble, that you should immediately have a more patient whistle. And that comes with experience. I mean, that takes a while to get it. Because if you would have seen me on the film, I had this and my hand was like this. I was ready to go. And I did
Large.
not, I did not want to have that situation, especially knowing that my partner it was her first year, like doing Division I. I did not want to put that on the spot. And, you know, you want to make people feel comfortable in a sense. And it's a scrimmage. We're allowed to make mistakes. But it was a great play to have in a game like that.
Other than it being her first year, Rich, is there any other reason like you deferred to her rather than taking the call?
Honestly, Carl, I didn't realize that I think it was just me getting back into the use of speed of the game after being first scrimmage since March, to understand that she actually beat a player off the dribble. I think that was part of it, but also to see so quick to like show that she was going to punch.
You saw she was gonna punch.
Yeah.
When you had the double, you saw she was going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, you see in the video, she starts going.
Yeah, and if you had a bigger view to see, like I had this, and this hand was ready to go up.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
And I put
a
that down
blur.
immediately.
It's a blur.
Yeah, I
don't
remember.
want a large. I want to stay away from a large scenario. And
I saw the play on SRE, but I couldn't see what the lead had, and I couldn't.
yeah,
And there was no sound, so I couldn't tell
Yeah.
if there was a double whistle.
Yeah, I think
I was telling her, take it. That's
It's not- I'm
really my words.
I'm not speaking for Rich in that situation. I'm speaking for myself, and I've done it, and I've had it done to me. When you
We've
start
all-
to give a preliminary signal, which we do, it makes it really tough to overturn
Yeah.
a call. It puts us in a box, and like I said, been there, done that 100 times over. So
Especially
Yeah.
when it's recorded.
And not only that, but she's also standing in front of a coach that has a view. I mean, it went against her, which I think is why the play got back to us, regardless of a scrimmage. But
Good point.
you know, it's very tough to overturn something when I'm 60 feet away from. It's also just not a good look as well, in my opinion. Optics of the game there, you know. Because
Great
That's a
plays.
great play, though, Rich. That's a really good play.
yeah, because coaches in general don't know who's responsible for the call. If they do, they're extremely smart in officiating, which there are some of them out there. But at the end of the day, it's bang bang sometimes. And if her whistle came before me, you know, sometimes we just let officials live and die with what they call.
One more quick. Was it double or was it like cadence?
No, it was two primary whistles. It was
Okay.
two primary whistles. Yeah.
All right, great stuff, you guys.
It's a good
That is
play,
awesome.
though.
Yeah. All right, so it's 9:30. Amanda, any more questions? John, any more questions?
I did have one, but it
Oh.
popped out of my head. Let me think. Yeah, write it down.
Are you guys ready to take the final? Because if you are, then I'm gonna get Carrie to get you guys the link. John, you're ready to take the final?
I thought I took it already. What was that I just took? And I don't know what I took something on that site.
You took probably practice exams or mock exams?
Yeah, the last module actually had a final
mock?
exam. I took that too. So
I don't think so.
I thought I
Because
took it.
you get a
There's
special
another
link. You get a special link for that. So I'm gonna talk to Carrie and I'll have her send it out this week. Maybe we'll give you, you guys 10 days to do it. the 20, what is that? The 1st, the 2nd, November 2nd through the 12th,
That works. I'm gonna probably do it
That
this
work?
week if I can.
or we'll just make it through the 13th. That way you guys will have like a whole weekend to do it or whatever, so. I'll have a
The test that I took, it said you got 120 minutes to complete it. Is that what it's supposed to say, or is this gonna be a whole nother set of
I
questions?
think it's another, I think that's a mock
Mm.
exam,
Okay.
because the practice test and the mock test are like 50 questions each. So this is a new link. So we'll get it to you. We'll put it in the Google Classroom and we'll let you guys know. Go ahead, Amanda.
I remembered. So if I want to, if I don't have any games and I want to go watch like, a bunch of college games when I'm not working, am I able to get in for free? Like high school, I have a card that I can get in to games for free and say, hey, I'm an official, like I'm watching someone or watching a mentor kind of thing. Like, how does that work with college? Like, I know I can get in Stockton, like, I know the people there, but how does that work?
Do they
Zoom.
usually, I don't think they charge. Do they charge you guys?
Well,
A lot of
Division
games.
One schools.
D1,
there-
yeah.
There's a admission fee, but Amanda, like if me and Scott send you our schedules,
Mm.
we typically are allowed to like add people to a list.
Okay.
To get in.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not that you want to spend any money out of your own pocket. It's usually not super expensive, but we get like 2 complimentary. Usually, like each conference, I think it's in some of the contracts. Like I know for the Colonial,
Yeah.
we're allowed 2 tickets. I would say 99 times out of 100, if whoever's walking us into the locker room or game ops says, and I say, or somebody says, "There's an official here to watch," they'll put your name on. We'll call, and
Mm.
I don't
Where are
think
you
there's
at
like
again, Amanda?
And
South Jersey, so I'm near like Stockton. I got Georgian Court isn't too far from me, like where I work. Like South Mid Jersey schools. So there's not too many, but I know like Stockton normally charges. And I know like if it's like even if it's like $5, like if I try to go to like 10 to 15 games to watch this year, it adds up.
yeah, absolutely.
Stockton
Just
is what conference?
And Jack.
And
So I'll probably
That's
try to
That's
go.
Marty, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Marty, and I'm working for Marty. I'm not gonna do Stockton games. But
Yeah, I think I have a game at Stockton this year, so.
you can also,
I'm sure.
like, I know most of the coordinators we work for, we can coordinate to have you come in to like the
To
pregame.
the locker room.
Yeah,
pre and post game.
pregame and the postgame.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Yeah, we'll
definitely
share.
let you know.
Yeah, we'll share our schedule. Let you know if
Yeah.
we're in. How far
On
are you from like,
Google
Philly?
Classroom, we can put it up.
I'm close to Philly. I'm less than an hour from Philly.
Okay, I think I'm in Philly a few times.
I never goes to Philly. Scott's goes to all corners of the earth except
Yeah. All over.
Except the schools by my house. I was at Monmouth today. That was
Nice.
close.
Is that where you're North Jersey a little bit?
I'm central. I'm like I'm 20 minutes from Monmouth University.
Okay, I got you. That's not too far. I mean, I would definitely go up that way.
Yeah,
All right, I'm
I'll
gonna
share my
stop
schedule.
recording, you guys.
no, yeah.